Hey guys, it's Sean, and today I'm here to talk about Halloween Haunt at California's Great America 2016. Now, Halloween Haunt Great America is often known as one of the best, if not the best, Halloween event in the Bay Area, and it definitely upholds to those standards. So I'm going to go through and give a solid review on everything about it, and then I'm going to tell you some tips and stuff on how to spend your night there, as well as recommendations for what to do. So, hope you enjoyed this video. First, I'm going to start off in the mazes, and I'm going to review each maze, give a short little review going counterclockwise around the park, which will start us off at Dia de los Muertos. This is a 3D maze at the front of the park underneath Gold Striker. It's not very scary, so it's definitely one of the first mazes you should check out if you're worried about getting scared. And make sure to buy those 3D glasses for $1. Make sure you have $1 to buy them because it definitely makes the maze a whole lot better. You can see the walls and stuff sort of jumping out. It looks pretty cool, not very scary, but it's very long, very good sets, and it's a very good maze. Next up is Roadkill Roadhouse. This, in my opinion, is the scariest maze at Halloween Haunt this year, so it's definitely not for the faint of heart. The setting for it is not very detailed, but it does have some cool effects such as barrels that come tumbling down. It's very loud, very overwhelming. I actually found myself running through part of the maze because it was pretty scary. People are jumping out at you from all over the place with weapons and stuff. And overall, it's a pretty good maze. Not the longest, but definitely one of the scariest. Next up is Madame Marie's Massacre Manor. And this, in my opinion, is the best maze for 2016 at Halloween Haunt. This maze has it all. It's very scary, creepy, it's overwhelming. The sets are really good. People are jumping out at you and stuff. They're coming from underneath the table. And the thing about this maze I think sets it apart most of all is the effects it has. This maze has some cool stuff that no other maze at Halloween Haunt has, such as people coming through picture frames, appearing behind the walls, and they even have this part where there's this door and you can see zombies and stuff behind it pounding on it. It's really cool. Next up is Stalkers. This is your typical sort of cornfield maze, except it's extreme. They have crazy scarecrows that jump out at you and stuff. They come at you with chainsaws. It's definitely the longest maze at Haunt this year, so that's definitely gives it a reason to check out. And it's very scary too. It's quiet and stuff. If you go in by yourself or towards the beginning of the day, it's definitely pretty scary. So definitely make sure to check it out. Next up is Toy Factory. Now, Toy Factory surprised me. It's been kind of the past years. This year, I think it was a lot better though. This maze definitely isn't very scary, so something else you should check out if you're kind of worried about getting scared. This does have some cool effects. It's very long, and I definitely like the song that goes with it. It adds to the theme and stuff, and overall this maze feels like it sits apart from the other mazes. It has a completely different vibe that sets it apart. For some reason, kind of hard to explain, but you got your neon parts, you got strobe lights, you got a mirror maze. It's got it all pretty much. Definitely make sure to check it out. Next up is Zombie High. Zombie High is another surprise. This one has some pretty good scares in it too. I thought it'd be kind of cheesy, which the theme is a little bit cheesy, but it's overall pretty good. It has a decent amount of characters, not the most, but it definitely has good sets and stuff. Throughout the whole maze, each room feels different, it doesn't feel repetitive, and they even have some people on bungee cords jumping out at you. It's pretty cool. And now it's time for Wax Museum. This one was not very good my first weekend because it didn't have very many scare actors in it, but they've kept adding more scare actors week after week, and it's definitely become one of my favorite mazes. This maze, I feel like, kind of has bland sets and stuff. It kind of feels like a showroom where there's not really a whole room experience you're in, but there's little areas, if that makes sense, for people to stand in. And the thing with this maze is the whole you can't tell if they're real or not. And though it's kind of basic, it's really effective in scaring you. And you might be able to tell some of them are like, oh, they're real, they're fake. But then you'll see something that you won't even realize is real. They'll jump out at you, scare you. It's definitely a fun experience. They've got some pretty good actors in there too. And then the thing with this maze that sets it apart is as animatronics. About halfway through the maze, there's some doll and mannequin animatronics that move and make creepy creaking noises. That was the creepiest part of the maze for me. And lastly is Dead and Breakfast. This was previously known as Insanitarium but closed due to its theme with an asylum. This maze feels pretty repetitive, and definitely I feel like it's one of the weaker mazes this year. The actors in it were pretty good. I feel like they got stepped up about halfway through the year. And overall, not much to say about it. This is sort of something you should check out if you have extra time, but I wouldn't say this is something you should run to. That's it for the mazes. Now I'm going to give out of the 8 mazes, I'm going to give a favorite to least favorite ranking of them. Okay, so from my favorite to least favorite maze, first off is Madame Marie's Massacre Manor, second is Toy Factory, third Corn Stalkers, fourth Roadkill Roadhouse, 5 Wax Museum, 6th Zombie High, 7th Dia de los Muertos, and finally, in last place, but still not bad by any means, Dead and Breakfast. So that's it for mazes. Now it's time for the 3 scare zones. First scare zone is Evacuate. This is a zombie-themed scare zone which can be told apart by having all the cars and the sort of purplish pinkish fog and stuff. This scare zone is pretty good. It's my second favorite in the park. They've got some pretty good talent in there. They go sliding, sparks go flying. Definitely make sure to walk through it when you're going to that area of the park. It's located by the Demon. Next up is the scare zone in the Planet Snoopy area. This scare zone is Killer Clown Town, and definitely by far, in my opinion, the best scare zone. They have so many good actors in here that go sliding across the ground. They like to mess around with you, talk to you, interact, and overall it's pretty cool. Make sure to walk through the side of the park over by the Planet Snoopy area. It's definitely a can't miss attraction because they've got some pretty good scare actors in there. And last scare zone is Lockdown, and this is by far, in my opinion, my least favorite of the scare zones. This scare zone didn't have very many people in it, which kind of takes away from the experience. I didn't get scared at all in it this year, actually. Pretty much people just bang on the big freight carts and stuff like that. There's not much to it. It's located right next to Dead and Breakfast. You're forced to go through it, so it's kind of hard to miss it, but definitely my least favorite scare zone this year. Now it's time for the shows. First show I'm going to start off with is Nightwalkers. This is definitely the can't miss show this year. They have tons of acrobats, some hip music, and it's very upbeat, it's fun to watch. I found myself watching it for quite some time. They have very talented people there, and overall it's a great show, can't miss it. They have people jumping on trampolines, doing flips and stuff. It's overall a very good show. Next up is Blood Drums. This is a show that has upbeat music with people playing it on drums. They come close up to you, they beat on their drums. It's really loud, kind of entertaining, but definitely not something that I found myself watching for very long. So yeah, that's about it. Next is the Sideshow Show. This is located right by Planet Snoopy by Killer Clown Town. This is like a talent show sort of thing. Once again, just like the Nightwalkers, they have some pretty talented people there, yo-yoing, playing with fire, and it was overall fun to watch. I found myself watching it for quite some time too, and yeah, pretty much just some cool tricks and stuff that people will do, something that you should check out. And lastly is Academy of Villains. This is my least favorite show this year. It's just a dance show where people dance to upbeat music, and overall I didn't find it that entertaining. It's located right underneath Flight Deck in that theater, and just saying, maybe stop by, go inside with me and watch it, but I wouldn't recommend staying for the whole show. Now it's time for the Skeleton Key Rooms. The only way to get into the Skeleton Key Rooms is to purchase your Fright Lane Plus Pass. That's the only way you can get into the Skeleton Key Rooms. This year there's 5 Skeleton Key Rooms. I'd say there's 3 good ones and then 2 mediocre ones. So I'm going to go through counterclockwise once again and review each one of them. First off is Bone Crusher. This is by far the weakest of the Skeleton Key Rooms. Nothing happens in it, and I'm going to tell you about it and technically spoil it, even though there's not really much to spoil. You just walk into a room, this character does nothing. They just point you into a room, and then the walls will inflate and push against you. It's not scary at all, it's not entertaining, it's more uncomfortable. The whole time I was in there, I was just thinking, when's it gonna be over? So yeah, that's about it. Just something to check out if you have extra time, but not something you should make sure to check out. Next Skeleton Key Room is Dominated. This one's kind of fun because it has a good change of pace from the rest of the stuff going on at Haunt. What they do is you'll go in, it's not scary at all, so don't be afraid of being scared, and some European lady will handcuff you and your partner, and then you'll have to go through sort of a chain obstacle course to try to get out. So that's about it. It's pretty fun, a little bit of a challenge, and it's fun. Make sure to check it out if you get the Fright Lane Plus. Next up is Vanity. This is definitely one of the top 2 skeleton key rooms this year, tied with Sorority Slaughter in my opinion, which I'll talk about later. The thing with this is it's not very scary, but it has top-notch acting. You walk in, there's this girl who has her face scarred, and there's this person telling her she's ugly, she can't be in the play and stuff. Basically, she starts yelling at you, telling you that she's pretty, and then you get sucked into her mirror maze where there's strobe lights going off and stuff, and you have to try to find your way through, and then it has a surprise ending that I definitely wasn't expecting, but it's a pretty good end to it, so make sure to check it out. Next up is Porterhouse. Porterhouse is one of the ones that wasn't so good. There's a man, and you go into his house, and then he said that there's this lady there who's obsessed with cats, and all of her cats are still there. And in order to get out, you're gonna have to find a key, which is located in the litter boxes. And there's keys all over the place. You're gonna have to try to dig through the keys to find your way out. And it smells absolutely horrible in there. It was kind of fun just because, like, there's a setup and stuff, and you're kind of wanting to get out. So it is kind of fun, but not much to it. So just something to check out if there's extra time you have. And lastly, Sorority Slaughter. So it's rush week at college, and you're being initiated into the sorority Chi Gamma Alpha, also known as CGA for California's Great America. And so in order to be initiated, the girl takes you into a bathroom to play a little game in order to pronounce you part of the sorority, and then pretty much everything goes wrong. You get scared. This one's one of the scarier skeleton key rooms, but definitely one of the most fun. You go running out. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but definitely I'd recommend checking it out. It's pretty cool. So that's it for all the reviews. Now I'm going to talk about how to handle Halloween Haunt. So the way to get to navigate, or the way I've been navigating this year that I found pretty efficient, is the first thing you do the second Halloween Haunt starts. Usually start with like Madame Marie's Massacre Manor, because that gets a really long line, and it has a really long line all night long. Or start the back by Toy Factory. But either way, depending on which one you start, just once you do that maze, start the back, Zombie High, and then go clockwise around the park to Corn, Stalkers, do Toy Factory, Madame Marie's, do Roadkill Roadhouse, then Dia de Los Muertos. And after that, I'd recommend checking out some of the rides, ride Gold Striker Flight Deck, because those will just get long lines as the night goes on. And then I'd say do the last 2 mazes, Dead and Breakfast and Wax Museum later on. And do I recommend the Fright Lane? 100% yes. The lines get crazy long, so I'd recommend Fright Lane. I'd even recommend Fright Lane Plus. It's $15 more, and it gives you the 5 skeleton key rooms, which are super fun, a nice change of pace from the night, and something that you should check, that's worth checking out. So I recommend that. And if you happen to get the Fright Lane Plus or Fright Lane, the thing you should do first is, rather than start off on the mazes, since you're going to get front of the line on those anyways, you start off on the rides. Do Gold Striker Flight Deck, do all the popular rides, and then once the maze lines get long, then start using your Fright Lane, because you won't have to worry about the lines anyways. Now for some tips on Haunt. Do I think Haunt is scary? It is kind of scary, but I wouldn't say it's horrifying. You don't feel in any way that you're in danger the whole time. It's more just a fun sort of scare, where your adrenaline's pumping, you're running all over the place, people are scaring you, but you don't feel like you're going to get killed or anything, so don't be afraid of that. Should you go to Haunt if you are scared? If you are scared but are willing to get scared, I would definitely recommend going to Haunt. It's a fun thing to do with your friends and stuff. So, yeah, I'd recommend that. But if you're gonna go and get the no scare necklace, which they do offer if you have to get scared, if you know for a fact you're gonna be getting the no scare necklace, I'd honestly recommend not going to Halloween Haunt, because you're just gonna spend money to get there, and then spend money while you're there, and spend money on the necklace, just not to get scared, which is the whole point of it. So, I'd say go if you're willing to get scared. It's definitely fun, and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to go check out Halloween Haunt. There's one more weekend left of it this year. Make your way out there, experience it. It's super cool. in my opinion, the best Halloween event in the Bay Area. Once again, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos. And stay tuned for more videos as well. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Coaster Coverage. So, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Remember to live, breathe, ride just for the thrill of it. Thanks.